Okay, so I have some olive oil uh, heating up in the pan, and I'm gonna add the onions and the garlic. It's one onion, about 4 to 6 cloves of garlic, and I'll saute that just for a few minutes. And then I'm going to, while that's sauteing, I'm gonna crush the spices here in my molcajete here. Stir that for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and crush these in my molcajete. It was actually my grandma's molcajete, so it's been in the family, I'd say, more than 50 years. So I don't have the actual the molcajete part, so I'll just be crushing this with my spice grinder. Add the spices. A little more. Okay, so it's smelling really good. So let that sauteed already for a little bit. I'll add the carrots. That's 1 or 2 carrots. I had a very big carrot. I like to buy them in bulk. You can get a bigger one, and instead of having to chop up 3 or 4 small ones. And then I have 10 jalapenos here. I do eat a lot as I'm plant-based, so I like to add flavor to everything without adding salt and oil, and adding these jalapenos to any dish really helps. Stir that up. So I got that mixed up pretty good. Just let it saute just a few minutes, and we'll add the rest of the ingredients, which is a cup of water, 1.5 cups of white vinegar, tablespoon of salt, and 1 bay leaf. Stir that up. Okay, so I stirred that up. I'm gonna go ahead and just put the lid over that, let it cook down until the jalapenos turn that camouflage army green color, which will take about 15 minutes. So I'll just go ahead and set my timer. I've been doing this quite a bit, so maybe about 15 minutes. While that's cooking down, let's take a look at the rice. Rice is done. Okay. And now we'll get started on the salsa. This is going to be enough salsa for myself for at least a good 2 to 3 months. I'm going to freeze most of it and just keep them in small containers. Now to finish making the salsa, I have the ingredients over here: onions, garlic, black peppers, nor, and some garlic powder. I like to use a mix of both fresh and powdered. Powdered because that's the more traditional way of making it. That's what we've grown up eating it, making our salsa like that. I use the fresh because it's healthier, going plant-based. As always, it's better to use fresh ingredients. So I'm gonna blend it in batches while tossing everything. So while I'm blending the tomatoes and the jalapenos, I've already put the garlic in there. Here's the spices: about a tablespoon of nor, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon of fresh cracked pepper. Put that in there. While I'm gonna blend that, I'm gonna get this pan is heating up. I'm gonna toss the onions in there. So it sautés. I don't use oil. I try not to use that much oil. I'll put a little bit of water, help it saute. Don't put too much, otherwise it'll boil. You don't want the onions to actually boil. You just want them to be lightly sauteed, just like you would with oil. Let that cook down about 4 or 5 minutes. Like I said, you can add the tomatoes in batches and the jalapenos, and just add a little bit of the water here, so it's not too thick. Onions are about done. A little bit more water. more of a salsa you would put for a taco topping. It's not a chunky salsa, so it's and it's super spicy. You've seen all the jalapenos, but that's how this kind of salsa is used. Not really used for a dip, like for chips and dip. It's meant more for adorning your meals. You can see sometimes it's even thinner, but I find that if I freeze it and it's got too much water, then it'll actually, it doesn't mix back in well. So this is perfect. I'll let that warm up a few minutes. And finally, just sprinkle in some cilantro. So that's it. I'll turn this off, let it cool down. I'll put it into some jars. I'll put a bunch of these little mason jars for salsas and for other just little small meal preps that I do. And then the jalapenos will go into this fancy Tupperware. Make sure you give the jalapenos a good stir every now and then. They're almost there. Once they're dark green, then you can cool them down and bottle them up. Thank you.